Ta-da, we're ready to go. Justin Schawl, Indiana Borough Police Chief, joins us. Presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hey, it's good to have you with us here today. Saw a police car going by about an hour ago with lights and siren activated. Hope nobody was hurt.
But I do as well. I don't have an exact reason for that, but
yeah.
I have no reports of there being any problems right now. So
good to know that folks are out there protecting us, and that's a good place to start after the events of last week in Minnesota that have continued over the last several days. Over the weekend, you wrote a letter to the community as the Indiana Borough Police Chief, and it was very moving, very well written, and I thought it set the right tone for everybody in terms of police and police relations within their community. So I'd like to start with that and to talk about what points you wanted to make with that letter and why you thought it was important to write it.
Well, I appreciate that opportunity. On Saturday, I drafted a letter, and really for several weeks through our navigating of COVID-19, I was writing letters to the community and posting them to Indiana Borough's Facebook. And so this was obviously something that I had a comfort level in addressing the community already in a platform, which I was very thankful for. But I really felt like Indiana needed to understand where I, as a chief of police, sat on the issue of what everyone had seen on television and what had occurred in Minneapolis. And I recognized that words are only words, but I knew that also there had to be a starting point. And I did not want in that moment to leave anyone in Indiana Borough and the greater Indiana community at a loss for what I may have been thinking at the time, or to have doubts about the direction of their police department. So very broadly, I just wanted everyone to understand that this topic was on my mind and on my heart, and I appreciate the comment that it hit certain points that were important to the community, because I hoped that they had. And so very generally, that's why that letter was written.
Well, one of the wonderful things about it was, and I used the phrase "set the tone." It really did, in terms of letting folks know, what is the mindset of Indiana Borough Police? What are the measures that police take to ensure that everybody is treated properly and with respect? And in Indiana County, or within Indiana Borough, you actually have been working since 2018 with a very, very knowledgeable and good source to help you to have the proper mindset and to treat people correctly.
Well, we have been, and partnerships. I know that the community's heard me say this often, and I mean it with all my heart. Partnerships are so important. Relationships, positive relationships, are so important. And in 2018, we developed a relationship with cultural anthropologist from the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Abigail Adams. And Dr. Adams was in partnership with us to lead our discussions internally from the police department on matters of cultural competency, social justice, diversity, and inclusion. And, there's probably no more important venture that I've been a part of as chief of police than the partnership with Dr. Adams. And so it was able to be highlighted in the letter. I thought that also that it was important for the community to know that this is something that we have been taking seriously. This is something that we've recognized very clearly, and Dr. Adams continues to work with us, not only to improve our opportunities as police officers, but honestly to build stronger, more knowledgeable and growing human beings. And the value of that, both personal and professional, is I probably couldn't do it justice in writing or in a phone conversation or in any conversation, because it's been extremely impactful in my personal life and also in my professional life. And I wholeheartedly believe that that's the case with other members of the police department.
I think Indiana Borough folks recognize that the Borough Police have always had a special relationship with the town folk. As you have said often here on Indiana in the Morning, it's because we're all a part of this community. What are some of the specific things or methods that Dr. Adams has used to help you even expand further?
Well, our discussions are group discussions. We talk about a myriad of issues. We talk about relationships with the university population. We talk about relationships with minority communities. We talk about mindsets. We talk about matters of history, and really it's such a broad topic. But truly the strong benefits are just understanding how much we don't know. And in my letter, I alluded to this, and I really want to be quite candid and honest with this statement that the more I learn, the more I understand how much I don't know and how much more there is to know. So I have a worldview, and it's good that worldview is challenged, and I think it's healthy for all of us. And there's no offense to be taken by that. It's simply a matter of I've grown up with the experiences that I've had. I recognize that they're not the experiences that everyone else has had, and if I don't know and I can't understand how others are feeling, and I can't live my life with it's not prudent to live with an inward mindset. So I want to live with an outward mindset. So I need to understand what others are thinking and what others are feeling. As chief of police and through my leadership journey, which I haven't taken lightly at all, but I continue coming face to face with how much I don't know and how much more there is that I need to know. And sometimes I feel like I'm racing. Other times I feel like the pace is more casual. But the personal growth opportunity has been enormous, and my truest desire is to be right for everyone. And I think the challenge of today and what we're dealing with and nationally and the months and years before and what we're likely going to deal with in the months and years after is a polarized everything is so polarized. And so I don't know. These are great challenges. I know that I don't have the answers, and I already said this in my letter that you alluded to. But really, it is worth reiterating that my promise is to give my best effort always to be right, to be most right for everyone, to do as little harm as possible, to boost everyone in this community up, to protect Indiana Borough. I mean, these are certainly sincere, heartfelt sentiments that I don't want anyone to ever question.
There have been, of course, demonstrations. We've been watching them in the news. There were police officers shot in St. Louis and Las Vegas last night. The vast majority of the demonstrations have been peaceful across the United States. Unfortunately, the ones that are not peaceful are the ones that we hear the most about and see the most about. There are demonstrations planned here in Indiana tomorrow and again on Sunday. What are your hopes for those demonstrations and what folks will learn from them?
Well, my general hope is that we are listening to each other and that we're learning what we need to learn in that moment and in all forward moments. I mean, as far as a protest goes, we will, from a very fundamental police standpoint, we will protect the protest. We will protect the rally. We'll protect everyone there and their right to assemble and their right to speak, and we will certainly be that for everyone. And nationally, we're seeing on the news. I can't turn on a news feed without seeing violence and danger and chaos and things come across my desk. It's very concerning because I don't want to see people hurt. I don't want to see damage. I don't want to see destruction. I trust with all my heart Indiana people. I trust with all my heart our residents, our community members, the people who love and care for each other. So I say peace, safety, and comfort. Truly, when I became chief of police, that was the very foremost thing that we did. We created a mission statement that was new and updated. That was Indiana Borough Police Department exists to enhance the quality of life of our citizens, and we're going to focus on peace, safety, and comfort. Doesn't have to be comfortable for everybody to hear what's happening, to see what's happening, but I want it to be peaceful, I want it to be safe, and I want there to be a general comfort level in the community and the confidence level to know that you can attend a rally, a protest, a demonstration, and that you will be safe in Indiana Borough, and most certainly that you will be safe from the police. That's really a challenging moment for us because people don't feel safe with the police, and that is something that I'm personally working through. Is to how can police officers, how can I as a police officer have spent an entire career feeling that I've done a good job keeping keeping the community protected, and to have anyone in the community feel that they're not protected because of the police is something that I'm learning every day.
We're talking with Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl this morning. When we think about large gatherings, of course, you and everybody on the police force, working with state police, working with the IUP campus police and others in the law enforcement community, you've got experience handling large gatherings. As you have watched some of these things on TV and you've seen the way that police have reacted, some have been very aggressive, some have not. What sort of guidance do you get from national police organizations? I'm sure there are training suggestions and maybe even overt declarations of how it is that you should react and you should act in cases such as that. What sort of training is there out there for you and resource?
Well, I'll tell you, again, with partnerships and with relationships, the Indiana Borough Police Department, we have at the moment 19 police officers, and now our community is blessed to have a sheriff's department and the IEP Police Department and the Pennsylvania State Police for resources. As far as specific training for things such as mass demonstrations and there are trainings for that. There are trainings for demonstrations. There are police trainings for riots. There are police trainings on use of force and things of that nature. I can't speak intelligently as to everything that's on TV. I've seen horrendous things. I've seen great things. I think that it's case specific as to what the need is at the moment. But here in Indiana, I would hope that the police presence would serve only to support, only to be put in a position where we can protect the protest that's occurring, and that everyone that would show up or anyone that would show up that would want to be part would know that they can do so safely in Indiana Borough. And so that's where the focus is. It's difficult to watch. It's difficult to watch on television, especially in the presence of my three children who are 14, 12, and 9, and to explain what's happening on television, but at the same point in time to have the difficult conversations that are necessary to understand why these things are happening. And I don't hold the answers that I want to hold at the moment, not as a parent, not as a police officer, not as a chief of police, but that doesn't mean that anyone should feel less confident, because I believe that the opportunity is to learn. I believe clearly that it's the opportunity to stop and listen and to go from there. So that's really what position that I've taken as chief of police. And there have been other demonstrations in Indiana Borough. One of the fascinating things about being a police officer here is that it's the county seat. So there are gatherings, and we have a university that has gatherings. So certainly, there's nothing that would catch off guard as far as a preparation standpoint. But we just want to make sure that we're right in the moment, as we try to be in every moment.
2020 has certainly been a challenging year for everybody and for police as well. But here we come into a summer season, and it's been so stressful so far this year. I know that you and everybody else would like to see just some of that pressure lifted, and maybe summer will bring that to us. And it would certainly be good, wouldn't it, to just be able to get out and to walk and to be among folks and know that everybody is of the same mindset. We're just happy to be here.
Well, that's certainly for sure. I mean, I would never argue with that.
Absolutely not. All right. He is Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl. Thanks for spending so much time with us here this morning. This is a difficult topic, and it's a really, really difficult time. And it's not easy to be a police officer in this day and age, and particularly in this past week. So I appreciate your spending some time with us today.
Well, I appreciate that, and the conversation needs to be forward as to where we as a police agency can go, and law enforcement needs to be, and we always need to be right for everyone in our community. So those are the things that we're going to be working towards. Appreciate everyone's trust, and in building everyone's trust, and in the partnerships that we have and the partnerships that hopefully we can make. So thank you.
All right. You have a great day today.
You as well.
There's Justin Schawl, our Indiana Borough Police Chief.